Good morning. So this morning we're going to look at something that I thought was interesting. The question of slavery out of the Civil War book. And we'll get into some of that mindset of the federal government that we deal with today. It is obvious that the question which has so long harassed the country and at times very seriously alarmed the minds of wise and good men has come upon us for a fresh discussion, the question of slavery in these United States. Now, sir, upon the general nature and influence of slavery, there exists a wide difference of opinion between the northern portion of this country and the southern. It is said on the one side that, although not the subject of any injunction or direct prohibition in the New Testament, talking about the Bible, slavery is a wrong, that it is founded merely in the right of the strongest, and that it is an oppression, like unjust wars, like all those conflicts by which a powerful nation subjects a weaker to its will, and that in its nature, whatever may be said of it in the modifications which have taken place, it is not according to the meek spirit of the gospel. It is not kindly affectioned. It does not seek another's and not its own. It does not let the oppressed go free. Afghanistan, Iraq, something like that. These are sentiments that are cherished and of the late with greatly augmented force among the people of the northern states. They have taken hold of the religious sentiment of that part of the country, as they have, more or less, taken hold of the religious feelings of a considerable portion of mankind. The South, upon the other side, having been accustomed to this relation between the two races all their lives from their birth, having been taught in general to treat the subjects of this bondage with care and kindness, and I believe in general feeling great kindness for them, have not taken the view of the subject which I have mentioned. There are thousands of religious men with consciences as tender as any of their brethren of the North, who do not see the unlawfulness of slavery, and there are more thousands, perhaps, that whatsoever they may think of it in its origin, and as a matter of depending upon natural right, yet take things as they are, and finding slavery to be an established relation in the society in which they live, can see no way in which to let their opinions on the abstract question be what they may. It is in the power of the present generation to relieve themselves from this relation. And candor obliges me to say that I believe that they are just as conscientious, many of them, and the religious people, all of them, as they are at the North, who hold different opinions. But we must view things as they are. Slavery does exist in the United States. It did exist in the states before that, the adoption of this Constitution, and at that time. Let us therefore consider for a moment what was the state of sentiment, North and South, in regard to slavery at the time this Constitution was adopted. A remarkable change has taken place since, but what did the wise and great men of all parts of the country think of slavery then? In what estimation did they hold it at the time when this Constitution was adopted? It was found, sir, if we will carry ourselves by historical research back to that day and ascertain men's opinions by authentic records still existing among us, that there was no diversity of opinion between the North and the South upon the subject of slavery. It will be found that both parts of the country held it equally an evil and moral and political evil. It will not be found that either at the North or at the South that there was much, though there was some, invective against slavery as inhuman and cruel, the great ground of objection to it was political, that it weakened the social fabric, that taking the place of free labor, society became less strong and labor less productive. And therefore we find from all the eminent men of the time, the clearest expression of their opinion was that slavery is an evil. So the founders felt that at the time of the Constitution that slavery was an evil. So they're the same kind of guys that would say this healthcare law is evil, that the Patriot Act is evil. All those things are evil. Good morning, YouTube. April. Yeah.